Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for joining today's session.
Thank you for joining today's session.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our next live session. I'll be your producer for our session. Before we start, I do have some quick housekeeping. Please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We seek to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. While we absolutely encourage engagement in the chat, we ask that you please be mindful of your commentary. We ask that you please remain professional and on topic. Keep an eye on that chat. We'll be dropping helpful links and checking for questions for our presenters to answer. Our session is being recorded. It will be available to view on demand. It will be available on the Microsoft Reactor channel. I'll turn it over to our speaker for today. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. And hopefully, you've come along to maybe a few of the others. So welcome back. And all those that are new, welcome in again. So you're saying that, Debbie, you're saying my audio is not clear? Double sound going on. Well, that's something new. Okay, let me just go mute the screen audio just in case. Is that any better? I don't want to be doing that to you, especially if you've got, double sound or particular issues with the audio happening. I can fix some of that up potentially. So let me come back. I'm just going to go use my default microphone. So maybe that might help you a little bit more. That audio might not be as great. Okay, brilliant. Thanks very much for that feedback. So the environment, what we're actually doing today, we're going to be focusing on Microsoft Forms. It's number 11. It is the last in the series. I'm feeling a little sad. And if I look back in the journey, over the last couple of months, they've got lots of really great content. And, it's moving so fast that things shift. As quick as I told you, it's actually changed along the way. Yeah, it happens. So I am Kirsty McGrath. If you haven't actually been on one of the sessions before, I'm an 8 times Microsoft MVP. I'm focused on adoption. So that's actually change, comms, and training. And I try to make sure no user is left behind. Now, this particular presentation is also available for you. It's here on the QR code, and there's a bit.ly link, and we have just dropped it into chat for you so that you have a copy of this presentation. Lots of really good content in here. Okay, the past sessions are all available on the Microsoft Reactor channel, and they're also on my YouTube channel, which is aka.ms/M365 adoption. So it's also there on my page. So you can always go have a look at either location. We are going to be focused on forms. What can you do? How can you do it? Where am I going to find it? A little bit of fun. Now, don't forget, in our very first session, we talked about prompting and what you could do with prompting and understanding the GCSE and the taxonomy behind prompting. I'm not going to go through the how to build the perfect prompt because we did talk about that in the very first session. So feel free to go back and watch that. So where are you going to find, Copilot or in terms of Microsoft Forms? So Forms is part of that ecosystem of which Copilot is included. It is a little different in the way that it actually works, unlike if you're doing it in chat, for example. So it's focused on sort of very structured output. It's not as focused on the back forward conversation. It's kind of that, that perfect sort of prompt and what you would put in. Now, I am also focused on the fact that you've actually got a license. You can always double check whether you've got the license or not, because Microsoft Forms will not have Copilot in there for you to be able to work with unless you've got a purchased license. The quick and easy way to find it is go online to your account. So that's your m365.microsoft.cloud. You can go and double check. And if you've got the work web button up the top, 1, you've got it. Or 2, if you go into Forms, you'll soon see if Copilot is physically in your environment because it embeds in when you purchase a license to Copilot. So when I go and I'm starting to create some content or I'm looking at Microsoft Forms and I log in, then I first have to actually create a form of some kind. So I can either create a form or a quiz. So there are 2 different types. When I'm creating it in Microsoft Forms, it's important to actually remember that if you're creating a form, it's different to a quiz. Quiz is something that's kind of weighted. So you've got, how much do there's a percentage. It's like doing quizzes for school. So you go, you earn 20 points for getting that right. Now I can actually ask Copilot to help me build our quizzes and or forms, but I can't kind of go convert it over or back. You have to choose one or the other when you get yourself started. So that's kind of that sort of starting point. Then it says, do you want to start drafting with Copilot? And I'll show you this. But first, what are the sort of things that you can actually do inside Copilot? And I can see up the top here, hang on a second, we got, what can you do in Forms? It's like, hang on a second, we're not in Whiteboard anymore. What can you do in Forms? Here we go, fix that up. So what can you do inside Forms? There's a quick, easy fix. So inside Forms, the main thing is, what is that goal that you actually want out of your form to be able to create some, relevant drafting to get you started? It will also help you to refine questions. So if you go, I've got a question in here, you can go do a bit of a refine this for me. You can help you to do things like, branching logic. It helps you to summarize your responses. So as the feedback comes in and the analysis, it actually will give you some analysis and support you as part of the results that you see flowing in, as well as suggested improvements. So it will give you might want to turn this in. This is a bit of a prettier look to your form. So it will give you suggestions and layouts and sort of types and that sort of thing. So it will give you those sorts of suggestions. Now, in this presentation, like all of my others, I have also dropped in tons of different prompts, ones that I've played around with and working with clients in the industry and helping others learn. I've put pages of some prompts because when I'm doing a Microsoft form prompt and I'm doing Copilot for my prompting, I'm going to want to do a bit of the perfect prompt. I want to go in and go, what is it that I want you to create and how do I want you to do it? If I've got you, it can suggest for you, but if you're trying to build it and you know exactly what you want, you probably want a bigger form as to what you would type. Now I've dropped in here for you. Are you doing, and I do a lot of training evaluation. So it's kind of very first up there for me, as well as things like a need analysis, because I go out there and I go, well, what do you want to know? Or do change management, satisfaction and engagement. There's event registration or training registration as a form. You'll see lots of others in here to be able to support you depending on what the scenario is. And you can get Copilot. You can just do chat and help you to craft what could be the perfect kind of prompt for me to be able to do these type of forms. And I'll go, let me write that out. Now, sometimes the output that you might just get in chat might not come up with quite what you actually want. So for example, if I just went in and I've actually got my environment, and I've gone just general chat. Now, I'm not even doing this in forms at this point, but I could go, can you just give me some prompts to focus on? And go, sure, I can give you different types of prompts. So I could go, copy and paste and go, can you create me a form with these in it? So I've got the perfect prompt, or I can go have a bit of a conversation to help me build it, or let Forms build it itself. A couple of different ways in terms of the scenarios. There's lots there. Let's get to Forms instead. So here he is, Microsoft Forms. You can get to Microsoft Forms in your environment. Go in, you've got your apps launcher in the top left here, and you've got Microsoft Forms. Now, this is in my online environment. It's my personal environment. You can also create forms inside like Microsoft Teams, and things get saved kind of into SharePoint instead of, part of your environment in OneDrive. So here we have, I've got some pre-built templates that I could actually just work with. And I can go, I want to do a new quiz or a feedback or a registration. I just go, I want a new form. So if I go, I want a new form, and I click on it, it can then just go here, and I'll come back to that one in just a minute. I go, I want a new form. And as part of that new form, here's the picture I just showed you. Okay, do you want to draft? Now, one of the limitations in this in terms of drafting is it is only 2,000 characters. Unlike if you're in Word and PowerPoint, for example, which have got, 400,000 characters, I'm really kind of limited as to what I can put in as that sort of a perfect prompt. Now, I could say, can you build me, a form in regards to my recent, let me take one of those prompts that we were looking at a little earlier. I'm going to go, I want to create a form to evaluate some recent training. I want fields around names, departments. I want ratings, satisfaction, yes, no about content, and checkboxes for topics, and some open text suggestions, sections to rate the trainer, capturing key takeaways. I could even be putting in things like open question regarding further feedback. The feedback plus the ability to put in their email if they want me to respond to them, for example. Yeah, it just gives you a bit of an idea. Up to you what you type in. You'll see here I've only hit 459 on my 2000, so it does take a bit. So the prompts that I've given you in the presentation, they should all work. Let's go. Now you'll see here I've got my little book, and in that book I can go design examples. So it's a bit of a what are the things that you could actually do. And then there's the or I want to do it off the back of another document. And I'll show you that one next. So here we go. It goes, right, go. Let's go. So it's now creating that draft and building out for me. So here's my bit of a draft. Finalizing, almost there. So what it does is it actually looks at some of those best design practices for Microsoft Forms, and it starts to build it out based on whatever it is that I have asked for. So remove any questions that you don't like. If you don't like them, you might change it. If you go, oh, that's actually pretty good. Now, I didn't say what my topics were. What topics did you find useful? I didn't tell it what topics I wanted to. I could go, can you do this for the very specific topics, for example? Or can you make sure my topics are all the Microsoft products? I didn't give it that command, okay? So I've just gone generic at this point. It's like, looks good, hey, I like it, and I can go keep it. If it didn't work, you could go, can you please, here we go, can you please make the topics about the Microsoft products? Or it could be adoption, or it could be whatever. So here we go. Now you'll see what it did is it's just changed one. That didn't help me because I kind of wasn't very clear, because I kind of went, that didn't quite work. So that prompting and fine tuning, a little bit of a gotcha there. Then I'm going to go, let's go back to my original. I'm going to go, okay, keep it. Now, from here, if I go down, I'm reviewing your form. So analyzing now, you'll see I have forms that I often will open up, and it goes, hang on a second, let me just have a little bit of a look at your form. Are there things that I could do for you to improve it and make it look a little better in terms of checking for completed, generating suggestions? Okay. I go, right, yes, it's working on it. So if I came back here, so I could then go, hang on a second. So 4 suggested things for the form. Now we created it kind of in the first place. Review, refine some wording, enable recipients, for respondents, apply a professional welcoming theme. Look, I haven't really done a theme. And then boosting responses. If you go, I like that, you could go, okay, sure, can regenerate. So if I go regenerate, goes analyzing the form, goes back in, and will then start to rebuild based on its suggestions of things you could potentially do. And if you like it, it will then work its way through and adjust it. So analyzing, and take it a moment. It's clearly on a bit of go slow today. It's like, does it know we're on a clock here? No. Let it do its thing. Now, as part of this, as it's eventually we'll clean it back up again. I'm just going to go stop. I think I'm going to go stop. Taking a bit too long. And I'm clearly too impatient. Right, I'm going to stop generating. 4 suggestions. I want to come back in, and it could be, I want to rewrite this here in terms of the topics. So instead of kind of doing the rewrite there, I would have had to kind of bring my prompt back in again. And in that prompt go, and for the topics, make sure it's this. Like, I didn't actually tell it. I said I was creating a training evaluation, but I didn't say a training evaluation for what. So that comes down to understanding a really good prompt and building it out correctly. So if I go rewrite, you can go make all my topics focused on the Microsoft Office products. I can even go that. So, okay. And go generate. Okay. So focused for improving, drafting, and here it is. So am I replacing what's there? And I go, sure, replace. So now it swapped out just that one question. Instead of kind of regenerating the whole form, sometimes you just focus on something if you haven't quite done your prompt right. So now I've got just Office products. I could go put in all the products of the E3 or an E5 ecosystem. I could go whichever way. So now that I've got this and I have all my suggestions and I'm ready to go, you'll see I can even come down the bottom and go, I kind of missed a couple of questions. I could add in, or I can go add a new question. And that's when I then start to get into the manual structure. So you'll see I've got my manual structure and I go, hang on a second, I could get that to right. I've got, this is what I want, and type and get in. So I can build right throughout and at various stages in my form when it comes to Copilot. So from here, that's if I'm generating from brand new, getting started and getting into it. What does it then look like, though, if I'm in here and I want to use something that's pre-existing? So, for example, this here, I've got a resistance management plan. It looks a little bit like this. So let me bring up the Word document and show you. So this is a ProSci form, and this ProSci form actually has lots of questions that are in there with possible responses. Now, I could have copied and pasted this and put it into my initial chat, or I can go, can you please build me, I need a form with the following questions and subtitles for each. They're open-ended, long form based on this document. Now, this document, I can do my backslash and say, what is it that I want? It's there in recent files. I could be searching and I could go, ProSci, all things ProSci. And I can search my ecosystem with my backslash. Or I can go, I want to attach. And then you see it's going to do the same thing, doing a search. So this allows me to be able to go, I want to draw information in from somewhere else. Sometimes we've got Excel spreadsheets, for example, with a ton of questions, or we've been designing it elsewhere. So I go, ready to go, drafting with Copilot based on something else. Let's have a look at what this looks like. So I've got my form, I'm dropping it in. I've told it that I want that kind of detailed answer where people can actually type in all of their questions. I go, sure, I like that. So now it goes, what type of resistance? So I don't need to send out paper forms. I might have it originally in a paper form, but you can then come in and just drop it in and go, right, form, send that off now, okay? So when I'm building out my form and doing surveys, I could have this then as for an external party or an internal party, depends on what I want to do. Let's have a look. It's got some suggestions. It goes, allow this, do that, view on the canvas, view details. Let's go finishing reviewing. So I go finished, okay, and then I'll go potentially, generate a plan. I need at least 5 responses to be able to do that. So it's like, oh, okay, I haven't quite got everything that I need in here. Right. So I go, here it is, send emails, view draft. So it's building out to be able to adjust. Do I want tracking off, tracking on? So I can go adjust it like that, drew the draft of it, sending the email. Yep, that works. So I go done. So here it's now tracking responses and helping and supporting you. So once it hits 5 responses, it can actually give you then, some emails in terms of it. If I go view the draft, it goes, you're invited to. I can rewrite the draft of this email that I could be sending out and say, I want that to go off to Dana, and go, here we go, and send with Copilot. Are you ready to go? Go fill this in for me. I can put all the people or the groups, for example. I can go send my tailored message on Teams. view the draft. This is what I'm going to then send out on Teams. It won't take too long. It says it'll take about 10 to 15 minutes. If you go, actually, I know it's going to take them a good 30 minutes to fill this out, you might adjust it. Okay. It will do a bit of a, based on what I see there in your content, this is what I think it's going to be, because it works with surveys an awful lot. Now, what it's not doing is it's not pulling from the web. It's actually pulling from kind of pre-built templates of what it would consider would be of value for you to go into a survey. So as that kind of AI piece. So I go, yeah, sure, like that. That's also going off. Send it to Dana. Who's my group, or who's the team, or the channel, or the, chat. That will all flow through. So I go ready, and I can go, yep, that's done. I can go back, or I can go back to suggestions to improve. Ask for it to refine your form. So let's go refine my form. It'll go analyzing, same thing again. If it didn't like something in particular, it would then play around with it and set it up for you, depending on what it is that you're trying to do in this environment. So it's got a little bit more depth than when we first saw it come out. At first, it was very simple. Now there's a lot of areas that you can go into to fix something up. So I can go view on the canvas, and then that's the whole, regenerate. If I don't like it, so I go view on canvas. What does it look like? It says, you might want to change this, set a resistance, because that was the name of the document. It goes, hang on a second, you might want to change this. I go, yeah, I like that. Apply. So then next one, it goes, hang on a second, refine it. Enhances, and this is what you might then want to do. So we go refine the questions. You might go apply. Okay, you'll see here, view the details. Let respondent save, edit, send. Yep, apply. Generate a plan to boost. This is the one that we just did before. I don't need to do that one again. So these are the suggesting a calm and professional theme. Now I've got all my theming suggestions. So this is the, I don't know if it's looking quite as pretty. Do you want to make it pretty? And you go, ooh, okay, let me have a look. I actually like this one in terms of, actually, I'm going to change my mind. This one. Have a look at it. What does it look like? That works for me. And I'm going to go keep that. So here's my theme, applied. So all of that here is now actually finished. I'll go finish reviewing, done, ready to go. Have a look at my questions. Don't need to add in anymore. Send it off. Okay. So I'd now go collect my responses and all that sort of functionality. I do have lots of other templates. So you can see here I can build off plenty of templates in terms of Microsoft Forms in this environment. Now that I've sent it off, let's have a look. So I've got a survey here that I've previously sent out. So it's for my adoption user group, and I did a little while ago around, I'd love to know what you think when it comes to running this user group. What can, kind of work with? So I'm looking through, I'm ready to go. It says, I have 3 suggestions for your forms. Let's have a look. Same thing. Do you want to boost your responses? So boosting, send it out there, go get it ready, which is what I just did in terms of putting it into Teams. If it's a filled in form, it will do the same thing for you. Now, when I go and view my responses, so I go, let's go and have a look at the responses. In the responses that have actually gone out, I then start to get my insights. So Copilot is actually generating key insights of which I could dive down and go do my full analysis. So I can also go, I want to open this in Excel and then use Copilot to reason over the responses in Excel. And, the great thing about this, sometimes when we got open-ended responses and you kind of go, I now need to find certain words. Like I had my, survey where it's got, it was an open-ended question. What else would you like to know about instead of a tick box? So then they've got all these different things they've asked for. And in Excel, I've used Python to reason over all the responses in Excel, not here in Excel. Okay. So as I start to work my way through, what do they want? And I go down, I have a little bit of a look, and I might go, give me some more details. So this will be all the individuals, for example. Go view more details. It's not doing Copilot over the top of this, but you'll see down here that boost the responses is also here. So I can go back in and it will go, I want to send a friendly message. Who do I want to send it to? And you can go, please don't please don't forget to fill in the form. The deadline is tomorrow afternoon, for example. And I can go, rewrite that with Copilot. It'll give me a bit of suggestion. Kindly complete before, so it's given an actual date, because tomorrow might not be quite the way to go. So there's different suggestions, 4 suggestions there. Or you can go regenerate this, regenerate, and go give me more. Give me another idea of what I could say. Now I've got 7, regenerate. I could keep going. I keep building, and 8 of 10. So all the various options that I can go, I need to push this out and get it ready. So the design and the functionality to help and support you in this ecosystem to just build really easily. Okay, if I go, give me some key insights. Now, what will happen is, as part of this, you can go, that's deleting all the responses, not necessarily what I do, but I can go regenerate my insights, because over time I might have more and more in my responses, and it will go, and now what's going on? I've got more people in here. So it will do a little bit more of analysis based on what you've got there. Now you'll see, the duration and what's actually taking, there's lots of really good reasoning over it. So that's if I'm going to create kind of the form. If I'm going in and say I want to do a new quiz. In the quiz, it looks a little different. You'll see I'm doing a scavenger hunt. You go, I want to do a custom form. Here's a scavenger hunt for kids, just a bit of fun. Refining. So it's pre-building with just a template. So I'm using one of the templates instead of saying grab one of my forms and load it up and reason over it. So checking for completeness, or I can go, I want to refine it and say also include something. Okay. So I can build out within each one of these, okay, and play around with it. Same thing again. Rewrite with or view the different prompts. Make it easier. Rewrite and do an answer explanation or add in more details. So one of the things, so for example, if I was doing a quiz, I can create a quiz with Copilot and have it to put in things like generate examples for me. So I don't have to think of an example. I can actually get it to generate a whole example when it comes to the points and the way that it actually builds. So add more details about and answer explanations. So I go, yep, generate. Correct answer, a soap dispenser, for example. But you've got all these really great scenarios to work with. Just a matter of going in and have a little bit of a play around, guys, because there is certainly plenty in this environment. Give it a chance. Still generating. In a bit of so the type of forms that you would build will really depend on what you're asking for as the type of response that you're going to get on the sort of form factor that goes in here. But if it is a quiz with correct answers and all that sort of thing, and you want to have it where there's the weighting against it, you've got to choose a different form type. It's not a Microsoft form, a new form, it's a new quiz. 2 different types, okay, as it starts to pull it together. I just want to, it's taking its time today. I've got another one taking its time. Righto. Clearly, it's going to be one of those days in terms of go slow. I'm going to go stop generating. All right. So in this environment and playing around, don't forget that, there are lots of great, Microsoft Forms type prompts that you could do. As I said, I've even done it in chat. I can go in, ask to help me build out particular scenarios as well, go a little bit further. I've even done it where I've gone and build it with this or create it with that or give me some suggestions. And I've done my thinking here in chat first, and then I've gone, okay, I have a pretty good idea, or I build the perfect prompt, because you're not going to be able to build the perfect prompt inside Forms. Okay, so that's a bit of a thinking process that I do elsewhere. Then I carry it to Forms, and then I refine it, and then I push it out, and then I remind people, and so on and so forth as part of that ecosystem. Look, don't forget, this is the very last session. However, you will find all of those previous sessions. They're available on the YouTube channel. Don't forget, Microsoft have got some really great blogs around working smarter, how you could work with Forms. A lot of what you might find around what's new to Forms, you're going to find in the Microsoft Insider blog. There's lots of great support that's available to be able to create forms if you're not familiar with Microsoft Forms and what you can do. There's lots of online learning there. There's the help and learning on Microsoft Learn, as well as the Copilot functionality and the different things that you could do and ask for at this point. I've got other guides and information to be able to support you in this ecosystem. Don't forget, you've also got the fabulous scenario library of how you might do something. Content around Viva Learning and technical documentation and how you can get into it. So courses that you can actually get, plenty there, and the overarching Copilot blog. My infographic is available for anyone should they actually like to go back and have a little bit of a look, and happy to support you. But do remember that the true power of this actually lies with you getting in and having a bit of a play around. This presentation is available for you. The recording will be available up on YouTube. And I do see I've got a question there. Happy to answer. So, Divya, for someone new to the M365 Wheel of Fortune, yes, my Wheel of Fortune, how should they start using it as a framework for adoption planning? So adoption planning goes that little bit higher. So on an adoption planning program, I will go, well, what am I focused on the technology and the ecosystem? And if I'm talking Copilot, because we've got a Copilot fundamentals here, there is a lot on this here for you to be focused on. So, for example, we did a fortnight ago, we did Microsoft Loop. So if I'm going to be doing Copilot or training, for example, I'd need to think about, in terms of my adoption planning, where does Copilot sit, and does my organization actually understand the technology that sits over the top of it? So I've just told you Microsoft Forms, but do you know that 3/4 of an organization don't even realize that they can actually use Microsoft Forms to do survey? And they're using things like SurveyMonkey, for example. So for me as a framework, I use this as an education piece to be able to support an organization. That's what do they know? You could go, here's a picture. Can you tell me what products are you familiar with in a form, for example? Now, the Microsoft actually have their adoption site. So you can go to the adoption site. I also have a site. It's called, if you go to www.m365adoption.com.au. So that's actually my site. I'll come back in. Let me show you. I have a full adoption planning site to be able to support you in this environment. It's called the Adoption Library. So you want to know about adoption planning or programs, go and have a look at there, or the Microsoft.adoption.com site. It's got lots of really great planning there as well to be able to help and support you. Right. That hopefully should help you and tie us up. We're now a minute over. Hopefully that helped you a little bit, Divya. And good luck, guys. My information is available and it's out there. And number 11 of the series is done. We are finished. So over and out. Thank you very much, everyone. And don't forget the presentation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.